Okay, I think more folks are coming. I'm trying to see. These lights don't make me blind. We good? All right, let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Ali Vahijanian. I'm a co-founder of Rabu Engineering. One of the co-founders, the other one is sitting right here, Selena Martinez, wave your hand. We're going to talk about resilient structure in an unforgiving environment. So first, I'm going to talk to you about who we are, what we do, the type of projects we get involved with, and then I'm going to give you some tips on the designing resilient structures. So let's start with that. Who we are an engineering company specialized in large-scale artwork. We've been in business for 11 years. We have engineered over 450 sculptures over the years, anywhere from 6 feet to 100 feet tall. So imagine 10-story tall building. And a lot of our projects get good media attention. Rolling Stone magazine, we have had them in New York Times, and USA Today, and so on. We work with fabricators, which some of them are here, with Danny Urge, Ignition Arts, and a lot of people. And we work with event producers, city officials, and you name it, anyone who wants to place sculptures, and artists, of course. With next slide, this is our 10-year anniversary video that we made last year, but still cool, so we're gonna play it. Rabu is a structural engineering company specializing in large-scale artwork.
Rabu is a Sanskrit word meaning prudent, skillful, clever. The things that we thought embodied a company that we wanted to be a part of and support and grow.
So in the next few slides, I'm going to talk about the category of the projects that we get involved with. Obviously, we do airport projects, sculptures. We love those projects. This is by XO by Laura Kenton. It's installed in San Jose Airport. It's 11 feet tall. Did I get that right? 12 feet tall. And it has an internal stainless steel structure. The skin is non-structural because you can do artistic things with it, and we don't need to count it structurally. We do public art. This is the piece by Marco Cochran. It's installed in San Francisco by the Ferry Building. She's 50 feet tall. She actually breathes. Every hour or so, the actuator turns on and she breathes. It's settled because it's a real breathing motion. She's made out of stainless steel rods that are like welded in a geodesic form. And it was installed just this year, building 180. Our friends helped us with this project as well. Go next. We get involved with festivals and events. This is for San Jose Jazz Festival. These are Ali Brehe projects. They're 20 feet tall. A series of them. We did 8 of these projects. They're all installed in San Jose steel. Completed recently in 2025. You should go see them, they're gorgeous. All right, we get involved with kinetic sculptures that they move and they give you the motion. This project is by Riot Art, completed in 2024, sorry. in South San Francisco. It has an internal stainless steel truss structure that is cladded by steel sheets. It's 24 feet tall. The next one, we also do international projects. This project is Flyberry. The birds or the books are flying out of the head. It's a gorgeous piece. It was installed at Chatsford, England. It is 35 feet tall. There's a library inside that you could go and read books, and she's permanently installed in Portugal right now. We do playground projects. This project is interlaced by Anicia Franco. She's actually here if you guys see her. Completed in 2024. Oops. There's a video there. Play. Yeah, play. Can you play it? Yes. Alright, cool. So you go sit on them and they move. They're like swings. We've done numerous playground projects, but this is one of our favorites. It's installed in Jackson, Florida, 2024. Very majestic piece. That's the artist in the middle swinging. We were born from Burning Man. We've done a lot of Burning Man projects. This is the temple at Burning Man this year. This project was designed by Miguel Garcia, but there's a village of people behind these projects. So many people work on these projects. This is 45 feet tall. It's made out of timber. The reason is that we burn it on the Sunday night of the event. So we engineer it such that there's air pockets. So it has a beautiful burn to it. You should definitely Google this when you get home. The burn was absolutely gorgeous this year. We do traveling pieces. So that means like they have to get installed quickly, uninstalled quickly in a few days. This is Sonic Radio Runway. There's a permanent piece of that in downtown San Jose, different version. But what this does is show you the speed of sound. If you can see from one side to another how the sound travels through space by light, is visualizing that. This was installed in 2024 at Burning Man. People bike through it, walk through it. It's just a beautiful piece. We also do architectural pieces, unique architectural pieces that are very artistic. This project is done by Artistry. It's an event space in Wimberley, Texas. They also have a bunch of Airbnbs. They got awards from Disney magazines or whatnot. They're gorgeous. We do stages and concert. This project is with Source Spirit by Sean Beham and Ray Jeffett, completed in 2022. I think you saw that at the beginning, the video, if you didn't miss it. It hovers over people and people just lose their mind. It's gorgeous. Okay, I need to drink water and I'm going to go into the natural disasters. Okay. All right. So, permanent sculptures are 25 years or more. And during this time, we all know that natural disasters are increasing. So, what we want to design, or what we want everyone to design their sculpture, is not for only aesthetic, but also resilience over the years. And what does it mean? Like, what we suggest is that doing research on the site hazard to see, okay, what are we dealing with? Is there a flood zone? Is there a very high seismic zone, like San Francisco? Or is this a hurricane location by the ocean? Seismic, I talked about seismic, and fire. So I'll give you a little bit of tips for each of them, and let's get it. Okay, hurricane piece. Hurricane is high wind, and what we want to do is to lower the load of the wind. And what can we do for that? We can let the piece rotate or shed wind in the wind. There's a little video. We did this flower towers that, if you can see on the right, when the wind hits it, it doesn't exert any force on the structure and it just sheds it. It rotates it. We want the least amount of surface area, so you want to, wind catches surface area and exerts the load. So we want to reduce that as much as we can, as much as the aesthetic allows us to. You could reduce it by reducing like 50% or more is when we consider reduction. And that means like, if you don't reduce it less, like let's say you reduce it 10%. Imagine if you get a water hose and you only take a little pieces of a surface out and you high pressure water hose to it. The water wouldn't go through it. It would just shed around it and exert all the loads. So there are different shapes I have in here. You can see like if you have a cube, 1.15 CD, that means it's gonna exert a lot of force to the structure. But if you have something aerodynamic, like this shape, is 0.04. That means like it's like an airplane. It's perfectly shaped such that the wind will go through it. All of it? Okay. So seismic regions are like San Francisco. See, that's where we were born from. We want to, so what is seismic? Seismic is acceleration times mass. So you want to reduce the weight as much as you can. So at the top, you don't want top heavy pieces because that exert a lot of loads to the structure. And there are ways that you could also reduce the seismic load. One of them is base isolation. We consider this for one of our structures. You can see on the left, it has a base isolator. On the right, it doesn't. And then the next video, I think, will look better. You don't want to also use ductile material. You want to use softer material that it can absorb and not just snap in the seismic. Also dynamic dampening. For those of you who were in the MGM hotel yesterday, they did actually use dampener for those giant sculptures. I think the dampener was mainly for wind, but it also works for the seismic. All right, fire. Fire is a little bit more trivial. This picture is from Napa fires. A lot of things burned down, but the sculpture stayed, and it became the symbol of resilience for Napa. This is Love by Laura Kimpton. So you want to use non-combustible material, pretty trivial, but you can also add water feature to your piece. We are getting a lot of fires in California, so that's something that we should consider. Sprinklers or fountains or whatnot could help. Another thing that they found out during these fires is that concrete barriers actually help a lot to reducing the fire to get to your piece. Also, you could use fire retardant coating on vulnerable places. Flood. This is an interesting one. I just recently learned that in New Orleans, the tombstone that they were placed back in the days, they were raised because of the flood. So you want to use concrete pedestals, reinforced to elevate your piece to miss the flood. You could also do a submersible design. This is a piece, Dragonfly, by Peter Hazel. We designed it for the lake such that it can stay there. You can increase the mass and anchoring to keep it, to fight the buoyancy. Another thing is to have flood vents. So when the flood comes, it goes through it and doesn't exert the loads. All right, lastly, we're gonna talk about Who Gives Back. We started this program in 2017. An artist came to us. He was building a coyote where the immigrants would come to downtown LA and they didn't have any information about what to do next. So this artist made a coyote art piece that had all the information for them to get help. And they reached out to us and they said, we don't have any funding. Can you guys do it for free? And we're like, yeah, it's a good cause. So we started the pro bono engineering. This is Nickel Beck's piece. This was done for the veteran hospital, another meaningful piece with a really low budget. So we helped with the pro bono engineering on that. And every year, we try to do around $12,000 pro bono engineering, 3 projects, one full pro bono, $6,000, and the other 2 around $3,000. So, if you know artists or people who need the pro bono engineering, please share this information with them. The application is due October 1st, and yeah, share it. And that's it. Do you guys have any question for me? No questions?
Sure, Andrew.
Yes.
You review a lot of these projects for engineering. What are the most common faux pas that you see come up in artist designs which have to be addressed in engineering?
That's a really good question. Project with project changes. But I think artists mainly focus on aesthetic. And our job is to make sure that aesthetics come to life. So we don't have expectations of them coming up with the structurally necessarily sound pieces. But we want to get involved and make sure that they are structurally sound. So not judgment there. We are mainly around the aesthetic and how it gets accepted.
Without judgment or criticism, I guess what I'm trying to gear towards is what are the faux pas that cost artists a great deal of extra money during the engineering process that are caused by the aesthetics of the design?
Well, I think what it is that sometimes we start engineering and then the artist realizes that, oh, that aesthetic is not what I was after, so I want to change this, I want to change that. And they don't realize that engineering, we already done our analysis based in certain, material or certain aesthetic or certain, geometry. And if you change that, that means we have to start over. And that's one of the things that I think is very hard for the artist to understand. It's like, I just changed this by 10 feet. And you're like, that changed the whole equation of what we were doing. Does that answer your question?
Changes are bad.
Changes are bad. Yeah, you really want to 3D model, you want to make a bucket, you want to make a 3D printer piece, you want to make sure you love it before you send it to the engineer. Because that, as I said, if you make changes. We had a piece that it was a hanging house, very architectural piece, and the artist decided to change from steel to concrete. And he thought that it would be just no problem. And we told him no. So we have to start all over. Any other questions?
How much, you had some kinetic pieces in there. What is your role in the kinetic design process?
We don't necessarily engineer we do. The component of the motion of it, we don't necessarily get involved with, but all the structural component to keep it in place. All the loads that comes from acceleration, deceleration, the bearings, all that, we run the analysis to make sure they're safe and sound. Any other questions? Yes?
So what are the major differences between engineering something that's up for, say, an art fair or a festival, maybe up for a week or a month, versus something that's a permanent?
That's a really great question. So we are able to use this portion of the code, ASC 37, that allows us to reduce load depending on the duration of your installation. So for example, if it's 6 weeks to I believe it's less than 6 weeks, there's a reduction. If it's less than 3 months, there's a reduction, and so on. I think it goes up to a year and a half or 2 years. Don't quote me on that, I have to look it up. But the duration is really important. Yes, sir.
Is that also site-specific? So do you have different rules to go by in a different state?
Absolutely.
So you're always
Everything
looking
is
at what
site-specific.
the conditions are, right?
Absolutely. So if you're in Florida by the ocean, it's different than if you're in San Francisco. It's different than if you're in the middle of the desert where there's no buildings around you. So the site is very important. When we do traveling pieces, though, I must say that we choose the seismic from San Francisco and we choose the hurricane loads from Florida. And in some cases, we tell them that, hey, these are the places that we can't go And these are the places that we're engineering because the cost goes up, right? So if you have engineer for hurricane, the most seismic, all your pieces are going to be heavy duty. So then there's a budget involved with that we have to, it's more of a collaboration at that point. Yes, sir.
When you say the price goes up, you mean the cost to run the calculations?
No, the cost of the steel. So let's say like the structure needs to be a beefier structure. So it overall increases your steel price or like wood price or whatnot. Your connections get beefier, your transportation gets heavier. I mean, the weight for the transportation gets heavier, so the overall cost. Yes?
If an artist wanted the engineering to complement the aesthetic or like what process, you said get it all figured out, then give it to us. But what would be an alternative to that if the artist needed a little bit more dialogue in order to
That's a great
resolve what
question.
they wanted?
That's a very great question also. Because it's not that as soon as we start engineering, that means we don't want to stop. Like if you stop or change things, it would cost a lot. But that doesn't mean that we can't do that. That means like we find solutions. Like for example, we do the design and we realize, okay, we need to put a support here or support there. How do we aesthetically adapt to it? That's one thing I want to say. Another thing I want to say, we do an hour free consultation. So when artists are building their design, they talk to us and we give them feedback on, okay, these are the loads at this location that we need to think about, and these are the ways that we can mitigate reducing the load or making the structure more efficient, if you will. So there is a back and forth always in design. I'm not saying that we start, we finish, and it's over. It's always, there's back, forth. But when you drastically change the design, for example, if you change from steel to concrete all of a sudden because you don't like the aesthetic of it, that's what I meant by changing drastic design. But little things around it to make it efficient structure, of course, that's part of the design.
I think we're sort of at time.
All right.
We're downstairs, so people can come visit you.
Yeah, we have a table downstairs. Come and talk to us. We're nice people.
They are.